Here's a video for the problem, the cosine circular functions problem that I gave you in class, just in case you missed something or if you were the class that we didn't get to it. So first thing we want to notice in this problem is that we're in degree mode because it gives us 15 degrees here, 90 degrees here. The problem could change. If they write 90 degrees as pi over 2, that's radians because pi is 180 degrees. So 180 divided by 2 is 90. So watch out for that. Make sure you're in the right mode. Okay, the first thing that they ask for is the value of b. And so the value of b is right here. This is just going to be the y-intercept always. No matter what a is, it doesn't matter. Whatever this value is, that if that we're adding or subtracting outside the parentheses, is always going to be the y-intercept. So that's just 300. That's why that's only 1 point. The next sentence we have to read tells us what numbers to plug in to show part B. So the 14th of January means T is now 15 times 14, because 14 days have passed since New Year's Eve. So then, and that equals, so we then plus the 300, we set that equal to 328 cents per gallon. That goes in for the P of T. Then I just switched the side. So now we gotta show that A equals 56. One thing we cannot do is just plug in 56 here and then, magically show on the calculator that it works. We cannot do that. We have to solve algebraically. So subtract 300 on both sides. Oops, I forgot the plus 90 inside my parentheses here. Okay, and that comes out to be, 15 times 14 plus 90 is 300 degrees. So then I'm going to subtract the 300 over here and get 28. Okay, now we just figure out what's cosine of 300 on the calculator. Make sure you are in degree mode because that's going to tell you exactly 0.5. If you're in radians, it's going to be ugly. So again, it's degrees on this problem because it gives us numbers in degrees there. So now just divide both sides by 0.5, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2, and then we get our A equals 56. So it's only 2 points. It's not going to make or break you, but you're just going to have to show some algebra to get those. Part C, hence we calculate the average gasoline price on the 14th of February. So you have to count from New Year's Eve. There's 31 days in January plus 14 days in February. That's 45 days. So we're plugging in 45 for T. So we're finding P of 45. You can just write P of 45. And then now that we know everything from our function, we can plug it in. So type in, make sure we're in the right mode, degree mode. Go to y equals, type in 56 cosine. I've hidden it now. 56 cosine of 15 times t, so 15 times x, plus 90, close the parentheses, and then plus 300. Now we can just go to the table, second table, do second table set and change it to ask, so change the independent to ask so that I can type in whatever I want. Type in 45, there we go, 339.6. Okay, so that's the answer for part I, 339.6. You could round it 3 sig figs because it doesn't tell you where to round. So we could write 340 if you want. The minimum and maximum average prices, that's going to be from the graph. So we want this point and this point, but you can't really tell. You're not supposed to just estimate it. You're going to have to get your calculator and look at the graph. So if I just hit zoom 6 or graph, I'm not going to see really anything. I need to change the window. So it gives me a nice window. That's great. So X min is 0. X maximum is 50. Maybe let's make it 60. Don't change the scale. And then Y min is also 0. Y maximum, let's make it 360. And then let's hit graph. We should get a nice picture, sort of like the one that's there. Now we can do second calc min, second calc max, second calc min, and I'm already by a min, so I'm just going to go left bound, right bound, and go back in the middle and guess. Okay, and we want not the X value, that's time. That's time in days, 30 days. We want the Y value, that represents the average prices. So make sure you straighten that out. So the min is 244. Notice this is only 3 points combined. For this answer is 1, this answer is 1, and the max is 1. So not a lot really to do here for work. They're expecting me to do all this on the calculator. So now I have to do second calc max to get a maximum. So I hit left bound, right bound, and go somewhere in the middle. And we get 42 days. After 42 days, we'll have a max of 356. So I don't care about the X. Just write down the Y's. Now, part D. So that's part C. Part D. Determine the value of T. So that's basically the period, like the cycle. So from here to here, how many days was that? You could just calculate this min minus this min, or you could go from this max to this max and see how many days have passed. So we could get the calculator back up and do that. 356 minus whatever this one is, or this number minus this number, and figure it out. There's even another way where if you've got a function, a cosine function in standard form, it would look like this, where this number is actually the b value, and this is d, and we could have plus or minus c. And so the period formula is 2 pi over this b value, this coefficient in front of the x. So if we just take 2 pi over 15, which in this case would be that coefficient in front of the variable, and since we're in degrees, we change 2 pi to 360, we divide by 15, and we get that period. That's going to be the value for t. So t is 24. If that doesn't make sense, or if you forget this formula, it's not in the formula booklet, or I know it's confusing because they changed this b value is over here, and this b value is actually the d value. This is b. Could be confusing. Then I would just use the calculator, find and do the difference between two maxes or the difference between two mins, and you've got it.